Hey folks, it is Thursday, February 24th, and here is what we are going to do in class today. This is our writing studio day. So the first thing I want you to do is to engage with the assignment 2 peer review form. It's really important that you check out that peer review form because it's the exact same criteria I'm going to be using to evaluate your assignment number 2. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is actually practice using that peer review form and really kind of simulating the peer review workflow process that we're going to be using next week. Okay, so we're going to start by reading the sample student paper right here. Okay, keep in mind that it's not like a perfect paper, and that's the point, because we actually learn more when we recognize mistakes in other people's writing, and then it kind of clarifies to us what we do. So we're learning how to provide feedback, which technical writers need to do, but also learning how to be self-reflexive about our own writing and what needs to be improved, right? So, and then what I want you to do is to use the peer review form and other features in Google Documents to provide suggestions for revision for that sample. So follow these steps. You're going to read the assignment 2 handout to make sure that we know what I'm asking for. Make sure we skim that peer review form again, just in case, right? Then we're going to actually like reread that sample paper and then use the comments function in Google Docs to highlight things that are, like there's something that stands out that's like super obvious. You're going to use the comments to be like, hey, like this is a revision thing that, you know, needs to happen. You don't have to like use a whole bunch of sentences, just like one thing. Like a sentence like, hey, right here, like this needs to be revised a bit. You only have to make like one, you know, using the comments feature. You don't, you know, and some of you might be like, oh, someone said the thing that I was going to say in the comments, so I'm not going to point that out because someone else did. That's fine, right? But if you do see something that's like, oh, this is obvious, use the comments to do that. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom of that student sample where you're going to find a copy and pasted peer review form. And because you can edit that document, what you're going to do is you're going to type in your name where it says your name here, and then your revision suggestions into the peer review form. If you get to one where you feel like the student sample did something super well, but like, hey, this was done really well, and here's why I think so. Now, it could be that another peer looking at the same paper might be like, yeah, like I think this is good, but I feel like this could still be improved by doing X, right? But the idea is you want to type in those suggestions. Do avoid double dipping. So if in the peer review form, one of your peers has said, hey, this is a thing that needs to be revised, your job as like the second or third reviewer is to be like, hey, so this is something where I think that you could revise this. Here's how you can make this revision. So offer like a specific example, because that's generally the job of like the second and third reviewer or whatever, is to say, hey, like someone has noted this and that's a good point, but here is how to fix that more specifically, right? So it's a team lift situation. And you really want to provide that, learn how to provide that supportive feedback, because it's a really important aspect of being a technical writer is to learn how to do that with like humility and supportiveness and really useful examples, right? So helping hands make light work or something like that, right? So after you have done this, and it's going to take the majority of class, you're going to head over to the Unit 2 Writing Studio channel and just offer like a 2 to 3 sentence reflection about what you learned, again, about the assignment 2 requirements, but also like considerations that you learned about what you're going to need to take into account when you're drafting your own mechanical description that maybe you wouldn't have clocked otherwise. So do that, and then just read and respond to at least 2 of your peers' posts. For homework, it's a pretty light day in the sense that I want you to just create an itemized list of all the things that you want to remember about how to write a successful technical description, and then we're going to have an in-class writing day next Tuesday. So by which I mean you're just going to work, you know, if you're doing this remotely, you're just all day, like in class, you're just going to be like using that time that we would spend doing other things to just create a rough draft of your paper. So, but the idea is for homework is that I want you to create a list, like an itemized list of like the things that you need to get done to complete assignment 2. And that should be pretty obvious after engaging with the writing sample. So that's what we're doing in class, and that is what's for homework. All right, let's have a good one.